Hey everybody, Joe from Treadmill Heroes here, and today I've got a couple of my A1A technicians with me, and we're going to be talking about console buttons that aren't working. This is a console off of a matrix climb mill. In this case, none of the buttons are working. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but usually some of the buttons work and some don't, right?
Right.
Commander Data here seems to think that it is in fact just a bad overlay, not the electronics that are inside of the console. Before we get into how to test this thing with your multimeter, let me show you how this works. So basically on any console, this is basically a glorified sticker.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Big sticker with real thin ribbon cables. You can kind of see Brandon's holding a big ribbon cable there. These green cables, those are wires with a real thin copper trace, paper thin. A lot of times those can absorb moisture and then wick up, then explode, and you get a bad corrosion and a bad switch.
What are these things here?
Those are the ribbon cables themselves.
So these are basically the back end of the sticker. This is a continuation of the sticker.
Yep, and those all run back in, and then the copper traces get spread out and dispersed to each of the buttons that are on the faceplate, and so you don't actually see them on the front of the console, but they're on the back side of that little sticker.
How do we test data if you do in fact have a bad console overlay, or a membrane is also what we call it? Mm-hmm. So all we're doing here is we're just checking to see how the buttons work. So data, what happens when you actually press and hold the button?
So there are all of these wires here, as you can kind of see, and all of these run back inside of this sticker. Now, 9 out of 10 times you are not going to know which wire goes to which is what I'm going to help you diagnose here.
So I'm just going to activate this as if I'm pressing the quick start button.
So while he's pressing a button, I'm going to run through these wires and I'm going to check each and every single one of them. To do that, you want to have your multimeter set to continuity, or what looks like kind of a sideways Wi-Fi symbol. Now you want to also keep a close eye on your multimeter, because it might not be enough to actually make it have a tone, but there will be a reading on it.
So I'm pressing and holding the quick start button here.
And I'm going to quickly run through these wires from left to right.
So you're basically doing random pins.
Yes.
You're keeping one lead on one pin statically and then running your other lead across random pins.
Yep, and then slowly moving this one over to see if we can get a reading. Now, as you can see here, we get a reading. Joe, take your finger off the button. No reading. Press the button again, and the reading comes back. Press a different button.
So now it's going to be a different configuration of ribbons, right?
Yes. So we're going to check the rest, and as you see here, that first pin, that is the one. Now, a third button, and the third pin goes to that button.
The kind of the stinker of this is we've gone, and in this particular case, there's multiple veins here through this ribbon.
Multiple pin outs and continuity points you can test through there on each ribbon point.
That's what you're trying to find here. With this one, it was kind of easy. The ground was actually the first pin, but it's not always going to be that way.
So, Chino, why don't you explain how you found, because there's some of these ribbons that can be pretty long. Like, how can you figure out where your ground pin is on something like this?
You can find your main ground, usually big green wires, and those are going to be ground back to the frame or a metal location on the upper part of the console. Usually there's a metal bracket or of some sort, and then you can see these, if you get up close here, we have these big large ground prongs that are coming off of them, and they are labeled on the
Come on
boards.
in real close here, Megan. Get in real close so we can see it.
G and D on the boards, and these ground prongs are in different locations throughout this board here, but you can just usually test those and then run your other continuity prong off of these, and that'll be able to test your prong on which one is your ground.
So in other words, you can, on your console, like if this level button here, I can press and hold this level button in, And while holding that, somebody else, because you need two hands for this,
yep.
You could theoretically take, it doesn't matter, your black or your red lead from your multimeter, hold it on here, and then go all to all the other pins. And if your ribbon is good, one of those is going to beep while pressing and holding one of the buttons on there.
Yep.
So you don't need to find a ground pin on the ribbon itself when
Yes,
you have ground pins inside of here. Is that correct?
Not necessarily. Sometimes you do need some, because these ribbon cables are constant and always have a voltage running through them. Your ground isn't always accepted. It's just going to be a constant pretty much.
You're going to want to check where the control voltage is coming from to one of the buttons. That's how it switches when you press a button. It is just a switch.
It can be kind of different manufacturer-wise, but these ones you want to test each pin out to each pin out, essentially, because the switches can be throughout the whole copper trace of that connector.
So I'll press and hold there again. I'll just pick a random button. A random button that more than likely would probably get minimal use in a facility or your home. So you're going to want to test a button on your console that doesn't necessarily get, beat up real bad. Because more than likely this button and the vein that runs out of this is probably still it's not bad from overuse, whereas this might just be a bad button.
Yeah.
So usually what you'll have is a control voltage. First thing you want to do with the ground is verify that you have the control voltage. The back of that, there's essentially traces that go to all of them, and when you press these buttons, it makes a contact between, like, let's say for example your control voltage is coming in on this second pin here. You see the first one goes nowhere, so the second one would have your control voltage. When you press a button, it will take your control voltage from here and output it to one of these other pins. That would give your console an input. You want to verify that you have the control voltage. That is another way you can verify that your console is good and your overlay is bad.
Voltage from the lower board is usually sending 5 volts or more, usually up to the console. Usually it's a 5 volt.
Usually it's
power.
5 to 13 volts going to your console.
So is this a test we're doing when the machine's powered on, or you can do this? Okay.
The first part of determining a bad overlay is with the console turned on. You want to ensure that you do have the voltage in the first place.
Yep.
So when you do find your voltage, and I'll use pin 2 as an example, because once again pin 1 goes nowhere. You would have the one pin on pin 2. You would press and hold a button, just as Joe was doing.
Okay.
We've got the language press.
Yep.
And you would go through all of these, assuming that the red is connected to your control, and you did not get any reading, just as we did not, that would pretty much prove that you have a bad overlay.
Is there a way we can test this without any power going to the unit to see if we have a bad overlay?
Ideally, you want to verify that you have the control voltage in the first place before you condemn the overlay.
So what we're talking about here is the power that's coming from the lower part of the machine, like the lower control board. Usually what happens, somewhere within, from the time the power goes into the wall and this console lights up, something else in the machine is going to convert the power from AC voltage out of the wall into DC voltage, like what you'd get out of a battery, to power this on. Generally, these consoles are going to run around 5 volts DC to power on this board. So in other words, what you guys are saying is these pins that plug into this ribbon, one of these pins is going to be outputting 5 volts DC.
Correct.
So just in case you were having a hard time following these smarter guys than I am, like I was there. So one of these pins is going to be putting out 5 volts DC. As with one of these pins, really all these pins that would have had a ribbon plugged into it will put out 5 volts DC. But what we could do is, if this was powered on and you had a partner helping you hold this up, you could take your leads and put it on any ground pin.
Yep. Yes.
Put your meter on DC volts.
Yep.
And you could go from pin to pin to pin to pin until you got a voltage output readout.
Yes.
And then at that point, where this ribbon plugs in, and if the same test holds true where this plugs in, then you can safely assume that, hey, the upper board is doing its job by feeding some sort of voltage through the ribbon. And when you press a button, that button disrupts the voltage.
Yes.
It basically cuts the voltage and stops, like turning a light switch off or on.
Yep. Yes.
And then that
Transfers it to another location.
transfers that voltage somewhere else, and then makes the machine make the changes you want it to change. Okay, so that's another long-winded answer, but hopefully somewhere along this it showed you how to test the voltage. So based on the original test we did, we should be able to at least make it beep on one of these ribbons, right?
We should have been able to make it beep on one of them.
At least on one of them. And so what we did is we went through all of these ribbons, holding buttons, testing them just like you did on the pre-core overlay, and we got no beeps anywhere. Makes you kind of lean towards you need a new overlay.
Yep.
And it's a heck of a lot cheaper to order a fancy sticker and put it on here than it is to order the whole electronics and hope that that's the case. So good rule here is start with the overlay, but if you have a multimeter, that's how you can test it. Okay. So I'm going to interrupt this video real quick, and Commander Data and Chino here are going to give us some more explanations on what a control is. So in other words, the control is the one ribbon on here that would be feeding 5 volts DC, or approximately there around there, and it would be the one that sends the voltage to different buttons when that one button is pushed. So the question sometimes is how can all the buttons not work? Because usually some buttons do, some buttons do not. But if the control vein, like just pick a random pin here, like this pin, which very well could be the control because it looks like it goes all over the place. But if this one pin is bad, then it will wipe out the whole overlay. And these guys are going to explain that right now. So just wanted to give a little bit of clarity there while we talk about it. So this here is a brand new overlay, and the guys are going to test this here to show you how each pin works.
This particular overlay, you can pretty easily tell which is the control pin. You see how that first one is connected to this whole entire web that goes back behind this overlay.
You can see the back side of the overlay there, and which are the main ones that run straight through. But then on this front is a gigantic web, and this first pin out connects to that gigantic web.
So this web would be energized with 5 volts, and whichever button you pushed is the one that the 5 volts from the web goes out to one of these pins on. So let's plug this into here.
And real quick, so in other words, if this pin goes out, like we said, it's going to wipe out the whole board. But let's say let's just say that pin right there goes out. That's just going to one specific button down here, and one of these isn't going to work. So anyway, go ahead. We're going to test this. So Chino's just going to press and hold the speed down button, just a random button. Data's going to try to find which pin is the speed down button. And because we don't know which one is the ground, right, you have to go through each one.
Yep. So pin 1, as we can see, we thought that was the control voltage because it has the web. As you can see, that is not the case.
But it is not. It looks like it is, but that's not the one.
There it is, right there. Now quit pushing the button.
Let go of the button there, Chino. There you
go.
go.
It goes away.
Pressing it again. There it is. So
between these 2 pins is speed down.
And one of these is the control.
So my guess is based off of this right here, that one also looks like it jumps up into the web too.
And here, I will put it on a random.
So now let's pick another button.
Pick another button, and I will use the red probe.
So you're going to keep your black lead right there because that's the control. That's the one that ties into all of them.
Correct.
That is what I'm thinking.
That's what we're
That
assuming.
is not always correct. And as you can see, that is not the case.
It looks like some of these pins may be.
So press that speed down.
Oh,
again.
there we go.
There's the speed down. Now press a different button. speed up. We'll go over one.
Oh, there
And
it is.
was. So the second pin in, for those two buttons at least, is our control.
Well, the moral of the story here is you can have any two random pins here. Like let's stay with that one that we think might be the control, and it might not be. And we'll press a different
Press
button.
one of those incline buttons there. So then we're going to go across here. We'll go back to pin 1.
Is it possible you can have two different controls?
It is.
You can have multiple controls within an overlay as well.
And
Based off of looking at this pin out on the back here, it looks like there could be 4 or 5 different controls.
the moral of the story here is there is no map that goes along with these that tells you what is what. What you have to do is pretty much just what we're doing here.
Test out with your multimeter.
Test across between multiple pins. But regardless, you should have some kind of input.
Oh,
There it is.
There it is, right there.
We found it.
And these are two completely different pins that go to there. So yeah, so you can have basically any two random combinations are going to be for that button. Really, if you want to explain it simply. So what you do is you have somebody press and hold a button. You go from one pin right there, and then you stay on that lead and you test all the other ones. If you get nothing, you go to the second pin, hold it there, test all the combinations of the other one. That one, all the combinations of the other one. And one of those should show a connection on your meter.
One of those will show a connection, or you have a bad overlay, or just a bad button.
Yep.